Good evening, everyone, and I'm happy to welcome you to the first ever live from Redfearn's bar that has followed an away league win at Queen's Park Rangers. Here's hope we don't have another 70 years to wait for the next victory in West London. Sorry, technical glitch there. Hang on, guys. Fresh from the Championship restart and that vital 3 points at Loftus Road, we're here tonight and Thursday with our 22nd and 23rd sessions of Live from Redfearn's bar and two very, very special first team guests. The starman on the right, Jacob Brown, will be with us on Thursday evening. But before that, we're lucky to be joined by someone who the club referred to as our Austrian rock earlier today. And he was definitely that on Saturday. He only joined us in January after nearly 10 years and 300 plus games in Austria for Wolfsberger FC. But his energy, enthusiasm and commitment to the cause has already endeared him to the Oakwell faithful. He's a current favourite of mine, so please share this on Facebook and Twitter as we go live and say a happy and excited good evening to Michael Sollbauer.
Good evening. Thanks for the invitation.
No. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this in what is another crucial week in the season for us. We appreciate you answering the Andy White call and agreeing to come on and talk to us about everything football.
Yeah, I think it's good. Thank you to you. It's important to have a conversation also with the fans, and I'm excited and happy to be here.
Well, we'll get straight into Saturday's game, and then we'll come back to your time in Austria, and then we'll take a look at the weekend. So first things first, just how good was it to be back on the pitch and playing football on Saturday?
Yeah, it was good for me especially, but I think for the whole team, it's good to be back on normal life for us as a footballer, to have the competition in the championship, and yeah, it felt really good. And also with the victory, it was a very good weekend for us.
And then the second question then is, how tired was everyone at the end of the game after giving so much?
Yeah, I think always at the end of the game, normally we should be very tired because we investigate very much in our game. Our game is very powerful, and then it's good and okay that we are tired. But especially after this long break, it was, I think, hard for everybody, also for the opponent, I think. And yeah, so the last couple of minutes, it was a little harder than normal.
And I mean, it was an amazing win and really vital for us. But how did it feel when the final whistle went, knowing we got a massive 3 points?
Yeah, it was a great feeling to be back on the pitch with a victory, with an important victory for us. We knew it before. We have to play 9 final games. Every single game is very important for us, and we have to pick up points. It's good if our style of football is good on the pitch, but we need these points in this time. And of course, after the last whistle, it was a great feeling for me, and especially to see the boys celebrate the first important win. And it will give us a massive push for the next weeks.
And in terms of the game, Struber, he shocked us all with the brave team selection. Even the sports journalists we interviewed on here last week wouldn't have named that team. At what point did the players know the team and that Jack Walton was in goal and Palmer would be making his first team debut?
Yeah, I think maybe for the supporters was a little bit brave or new, but for me and for the rest of the team, it was not so spectacular, because both starters did a very well job the last weeks, and also against Sheffield United in this preseason game, both did a really great job. Also, Radlinger was a little bit injured before the game, and I think that's why Gerhard decision was for Jack, and also clean sheet. He did a really good job. And also Romal, I think he's a very talented player, and he deserved to start. He did a great job in this Corona time, and I think also his debut was good.
Now, we're a young side at the best of times compared to other teams in the league. But on Saturday, I think we had 7 players under 22 and 5 players that had featured in our academy. You're arguably our most experienced player. Does Gerhard lean on you a lot more when the side that he picks is a little bit younger than normal?
Yeah, when I moved here to Barnsley, I knew the situation. A very young, talented team. Gerhard told me about the situation, and yeah, for me it's a challenge to work with the talents. So they have not so much experience, but they are highly talented, and it's very interesting to see how they develop in the last few months. And I think what I've learned in my career, it's the age, it's the experience, but I think on the pitch is only if you're good or not so good. It's only the decision. It's not the decision of an age. And we have a very young team, a talented team, and I think it's also a great sign for Barnsley and for the young talents in the clubs that there's a chance to play professional football. I think all my teammates did a great job.
And it wasn't just Barnsley that gave youth a chance at the weekend with the Project Restart. You saw Premier League teams playing youth players for the first time. I can only guess that's due to the pressure being reduced due to fans not being in the game. But how does it feel that first few minutes when you walk out and the stadium is empty and it's a championship football game?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the same, of course. We would like to stay side by side with our supporters. It's the greatest feeling when you go out and hear the noise of the Barnsley supporters, of course. But we have to deal with the situation. We have it 1 week before against Sheffield United. It was just a preparation game, but so from them we know the situation, and it's a completely other situation for us. Normally you get the big motivation boost from the crowd, but now the situation is like this. We have to deal with it. I hope for the future there will be allowed the supporters in the stadium, of course, but now we have to push each other to the highest level. This is also a massive job for everybody of us, also for me, of course. And we have to deal with this situation for the next games, but it's a completely weird situation.
And do you think it's actually a really good opportunity for the younger players to play in this environment where there's less pressure as opposed to when the fans are there?
Maybe for some players, this could be a big help, of course, because there is not so much pressure from the crowd. But also, I think some of the players, I think, deserve this to play in a full stadium. And for a footballer, it's one of the biggest thing to play in a full stadium with a lot of crowd noise, and then especially when you win, it's the greatest feeling after the last whistle. And we missed it, the celebration with our supporters, but we knew it. They were on the TV, and I think they celebrated it from home, and this was also important for us.
And you mentioned the noise of the crowd there. Obviously, it's very different. We have this stadium noise that's created by QPR, and we'll create our own at Oakle on Saturday. What was that like, hearing the fake fan noise at the ground?
Yeah, it was a little funny and a little crazy, I think, because most of the time it was, I think, 2-3 seconds too late. In my opinion, we don't need it. It's maybe a little interesting for the crowds, but like you mentioned before, there's always for Sky you can do this crowd noise, and I think we don't need this in the stadium as a player. We have to concentrate on our job, and especially if it's too late, I think it's more funny than useful.
And how easy is it to block it out when you're on the pitch and you're focusing on the game?
For me it was not that difficult because my goal is only to or my aim is only to focus on the game, to keep the players to the game, and to be honest, I recognize it only 3, 4, 5 times in the game because the rest was in my focus. And but we spoke about it after the game in the dressing room, and it was really funny what the guys had told.
And in terms of the game, we started really brightly. We were straight at it from the off, on the front foot, and essentially catching QPR cold and flat-footed. What was Struber's last words in the dressing room for the team before you went out to the pitch? And was the plan to start fast?
There was no special words in this moment, but Gerhard always told us before the game, from the first whistle, we have to be ready. It's very important to be on the pitch when the game is starting. We don't want to lose any time for our game. And yeah, I think we did a really great job, especially in the first 20, 30 minutes. We investigate really much in our game, and yeah, Elliot took us the lead, so it was really important in this moment. Also, if you investigate so much that yeah, you lead in the game, and then it's a little bit easier to play for us, of course. Also the games before Corona, we had many chances, but if we score, of course, it's much easier. And this was a very important start. I think it gives for everybody a little bit more confidence, of course, especially in our situation. And yeah, the rest of the game we did a solid job.
And you mentioned it there. We were really dominant for the first 25, 30 minutes. Then it got a little bit tougher before half time. And then the second half, we really had to dig deep at times and show tremendous defensive resolve. How difficult was it out there the longer the game went on?
Yeah, it's not normally our style. Like we played in the second half. Normally we want to have more possession, of course, and we want to do more for the offense. But yeah, at this day, we want to keep the result, of course. We want to take the points. This was the important thing in this moment. I think also after the important victory, we had much space for improvement. We can do it this week, especially when we play in the offense. Or if we win balls, we have to be clearer, to be straighter to the goal. I think then we can create more chances and maybe to score the second. It was our intention in the halftime. We spoke that we go on the second goal, but yeah, it didn't work that well. So we have to defend our goal. This was the important thing. And yeah, in the end, it was an important victory, clean sheet, and this is the important thing.
And it was a great team performance. Everyone played their part, but for many Barnsley fans, especially in my circle, you were man of the match. Would you say that was your best performance for Barnsley so far, or most important performance so far?
Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot tell if this was my best, but I think, especially for me as a defender, it's always a good game if we have a clean sheet, especially if you have a victory. And I think I did a really good job. I tried to defend my goal with the rest of the defenders, but I have to say that the whole team did a massive job in the defense, especially what you told in the second half. Everybody worked really hard to put the opponents away from our goal. Also, the strikers did a great job. It started with them when we defend our goal. So in the end, I have to clear some situations, but this is my job. And yeah, I'm happy with my performance.
And again, going back to you being one of the more experienced players in the squad, is it a really good feeling as an experienced player when players like Ramal Palmer get to make their debut and they do it so well?
Yeah, I like the situations. In this moment, I can remember to my debut, and I know the feeling of Ramal, and I know also that, especially in this time, a player needs a lot of help. If the game is not working really well or not everything is working really well, it's normal for a player in his age that is not everything is always on the best level. But it's good to see it. He deserves it, and I like to. Or for me, I love this moment to share with him. And yeah, I hope and I'm sure he will be very important for the next weeks. Of course, we need a player like him. And yeah, this was his first game, and I think there will be some more left.
And was he as calm on the pitch as he looked like for us fans watching on TV?
This is his style. What I've recognized so far, I think he's a very calm player on the pitch. He's not this flippy guy. So he has in many situations we played really calm, and we need also this. But he's also good against the ball. I like his style against the ball. His pressing is perfect for our game, and I think these are some reasons why Gerhard put him in the first 11.
And then the last question on Saturday's game: what did Gerhard say to the squad at the end of the game in the dressing room? Mission accomplished. On to the next.
Yeah, something like this. He told us a massive game. He's very proud of us. We did a great job. Clean sheet is always important. Everybody's worked really hard, and but he always told us. He also told us, and I think this is the important thing after a victory, especially for a young team. I think the time after a victory, this is a very really dangerous time, because I think maybe somebody is making a step less, but he told us in that moment we need to work really hard this week. It's important to work during the week, not to wait to the weekend. We have to do everything for preparation, also after the game for recovery. And yeah, he said the right words. It was one game, one important game, but there are 8 left. We are the bottom of the league. We are not safe after this game. It was important, of course, but we have to move for the next.
And that's the chapter on Saturday's game done. So I think now it'd be really great to learn more about you as a footballer, your time in Austria, and kind of what brought you to Barnsley. Correct me if I get this wrong and don't say it right, but going back to when you were growing up in Klein Sankt Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you always want to be a footballer, and were you always a defender?
When I played in Klein Sankt Paul, it's my first club. I just played for fun. Now I also played for fun, but now it's my job. But this time I don't. I was young. I have dreams, but not only to be a professional football player, but when I become older and older, of course, and getting more to the professional football style. I played also in the academy in my hometown now in Klagenfurt. Then the dream become more realistic to be a professional football player. But I've never expected to play in England. It was always a big goal, a big aim for me to play here. But to be fair, just in the first years when I'm professional, I just want to adapt to the Bundesliga in Austria, to play there, to have some games there. And after now, I think 10 years, I had, I think, 300 games. And now I'm here in England. For me, it's a great step to come here. And when I've heard about the opportunity, for my decision, it was clear to come here.
And you mentioned it there. You were at Wolfsberger for 10 years, nearly almost, and then played over 300 games. You saw them grow from Austrian First League to Bundesliga to Europa League. For those Barnsley fans who don't know much about Wolfsberger, what kind of club are they, and what similarities and differences are there between them and Barnsley?
For me, it was a great journey. What we made at Wolfsberger, I'd say. We played in the second league when I've joined the team 10 years before. Then after 2 years, we get promoted to the first league. There we played, I think now 8 years. We have ups and downs, of course. but especially the last few years, we were really we had some great years. We played a fantastic year. We in the end of the day we were third, and this was direct for Europa League group stage. This was the greatest achievement for the club, and I was part of the team. I was captain of the team, and this was a really great feeling. When you can play with your hometown, with your home club in the Europa League group stage. And yeah, we had a great journey in the Europe with a massive win in the first game against Mönchengladbach, and also the games against AS Roma, and also we played in Istanbul. It was a great journey. We picked up some points, and also in the league they're playing really well. Gerhard joined us the last summer. Yeah, he did a really great job, and for me it was a really nice time in Wolfsburg. I had many friends there, of course, after this long time, and yeah, I will never forget this. But now I'm happy to be part of Barnsley.
And it was Gerhard Struber was the man that was leading Wolfsberger into Europe. You've now played for Gerhard at 2 clubs in 2 countries. What can you tell us about his best qualities as a manager?
For me, Gerhard had a clear plan, always a clear plan, and he can give this plan perfect, I think, to the team. He has a really good feeling for players, because in a team there are many different types of players. So for me, he has a really good feeling. He can teach the guys what his style of football is, and I think also now what I've seen, also this team attempt really fast to his style of games, and yeah, what I've known from Gerhard, also you can go with him with any problems you have on or is this football or besides football. If you have problems with families, or you can always speak to him, and I think this is one of the greatest qualities of Gerhard.
Now, sometimes in the workplace, the boss will be harder on the players that he already knows. Does Gerhard sometimes challenge you more than the other players because he knows you so well?
No, I don't think so, because I know exactly what Gerhard is expecting from me, and I knows what he wants that I can bring into the team. Also my qualities, and one of them is, of course, to lead the guys. I did it also at Wolfsberger. We had a great team with a lot of leaders here also. I think there are some players in the younger age that can lead the team, and it's also my job. So I know exactly what Gerhard is expecting, and I think it worked really well.
Now, as a Barnsley fan, as an outsider, we assume this was one of the biggest games you played in your career, which was the 2-2 draw away to Roma in the Europa League. What was it like playing at the Stadio Olimpico and getting a 2-2 draw against Roma of all teams?
Yeah, it was a historic moment also for me, for my club, to play in this stadium. What you've mentioned, AS Roma, a big club in Europe, with a striker named Dzeko. I think he played also here in England very well for, I think, Manchester City, for example. And yeah, it was a great feeling. It was an interesting, exciting game. There was 2-0, I think, or 1-0 for Roma. We came back. 2-1 for Roma. We came back. It was fantastic. What my teammates they did a great job. We always believed in us, and yeah, we deserved this point. I think it was a little shocker for Roma, because for us it was not this important game because we were last on the table. But eventually we did a great job with a lot of supporters there. To travel there 7 hours, so it was a big thing for everybody of us. And yeah, we enjoyed this time in the stadium and we picked up 1 point.
Nice. And this leads us nicely into Barnsley and Wolfsberger developing a relationship, for the use of a better phrase. How surprised were you and the Wolfsberger squad when it was announced that Gerhard was leaving to join Barnsley?
To be honest, it was a shock in that moment. But Gerhard was a big part of our team. It was a hard time, I think, for the team, because it's not good when you're playing a good season, then you lose your gaffer, a big part of your team. That was not an easy situation for us, but I think we did it really well. We lost Gerhard and Max. This was hard, but I think both of them, especially Gerhard, deserved this chance. He's born for bigger things, I think. He did a great job with us in the league and also in Europe. So I think it was only a question of time when he went to do the next step. And yeah, we understand it completely that he make this decision, and we wish him all the best. And also for me, in this moment, I start to watch the games and the results of Barnsley because I want to see how he's doing and how is the situation at the table, because he told us about this big challenge there, but he wants to do this. He likes that to have a challenge, and yeah, from this time on, we see the results and the games of Barnsley.
And you say there that you started to watch the Barnsley games, look for the results. But being honest, how many Wolfsberger players knew anything about Barnsley when Gerhard said that's where he was going?
To be honest, not so much. But it's not a question of respect, but it's not on our focus in this time. Yeah, of course, we watched English football, but more the Premier League, some games. But in Austria, normally it's near to watch the German Bundesliga and maybe Italy, because it's near to your country and you have the opportunity to go in the stadium. So, but we knew this Barnsley before, because a player now played for Rapid, played here before. I think it's Klaus
Müller, yeah.
Klaus Müller, yeah. So, yeah, we played against him. He did this transfer to Barnsley. Then we recognized the name again, and yeah, but this was the only thing what we've heard about it. We also knew this system of scouting because of this Klaus Müller transfer, but it was the only thing we've heard before.
And you mentioned it there, Max, or Ritz as we call him, followed Gerhard to Barnsley, but we weren't finished there. We then, later in January, you come to Oakwell. Was the move to Barnsley a surprise, or was it one that you thought was happening the whole of January?
It was a little surprise, because I know it from Ritzi and also from Gerhard. Normally Barnsley did not make transfer like this with this age and something like this. So in that moment when I heard about Barnsley and from Gerhard, for me it was a big surprise. At the same moment it was for me clear. I just have to speak with my wife, but then it was clear that we want to make this step and this move and want to join Gerhard's team here in Barnsley.
And then one more question about Wolfsberger. If you were allowed to go back and bring one more player to Barnsley for the next 8 games, who would that Wolfsberg player be?
Oh, at Wolfsberger, we had a good team, a really nice team with a lot of quality, higher age than here. Yeah, I think a lot of players will be really good here, especially for this system from Gerhard and Max. I can say a lot of players, but I think for Barnsley, maybe it's Romano Schmidt or Sean Weissman, the striker. They can be directly be in the squad for Saturday. But I'm happy here with my teammates. So I think we don't need them.
It's a great answer. At this point, you've switched Austria for South Yorkshire, and you've come to fight for Championship survival. How have you settled into life at Oakwell, the town of Barnsley? What are your first impressions?
I've settled here. I've settled in really well. I had a lot of help from the German and Austrian speaking guys, of course. They were a great help for me. People Schmidt, Samuel Radlinger, they helped me a lot, but also the whole Barnsley family staff, the office, they were open and they helped me a lot. So my first impressions was really good. It was not easy for me to be directly in the squad because I don't know everybody. For my teammates, it was hard because I completely new in the team, and but I think I have adapted really well after a few games, and also in the first weeks I have to look up for a house, for an apartment for me, for my family. It was not that easy. Also, beside football, I have to organize some things, but it happened really fast. Also, my family came over in I think in February. This was for me an important thing. They are with me. They give me a lot of energy, and from that on, I think also my performances were much better because I can concentrate only on football, and it was important that everybody happens really quickly. But what I've seen from Barnsley, great supporters. I like them. This is completely different to Austria. What I've known from my club. There were also nice supporters, but not that much. Everybody is excited about football. I like this for a player, and also for me, this is one of the biggest things when you have a big squad behind you, and it's great to see that, especially in this situation. It's not the best situation for a club and for a support. I think it's a hard situation also, but it's great that they stay behind us in every situation.
That's great. And you mentioned it a little bit there. What were your first thoughts on the quality of the Championship versus Austria in those first 2 or 3 games that you played in?
To be honest, it was a completely different world for me. The style of the English football is really different to the style of Austria. Here's a really physical part, and the individual quality of the players are high in every team. So I have to learn a lot of things in my age. So you can always learn, and I have to learn it really fast to win here duels, or how you can go in a duel. A lot of things to learn, and I was not happy with my first performances, of course, because I knew I can do it better, and but I have to learn some things because it's a completely different world.
I think you're completely right. You've after those first 2 games, you've really stepped up and shown your real qualities, and you're now a leader of that defence. Has that been an easy role to step into, to come in from Austria to South Yorkshire and have to be that leader at the centre back?
I think it's not that easy situation, but I knew it when I came here, and I also like this situation to lead a team, especially in my position. I have to lead. Also, when I was younger, in my position, I have to lead the older guys next to me, and help each other. And as a captain, I have some training to leading a team. So for me, it's not that hard. I like it, and it's great to see how the young guys develop in the last month. I think they learned the style from Gerhard, and the game style really well. And it's good that we can work together. It works really well. Everything one side on the other side. So it's good. And I think also in my age, I have to lead the guys. I have to give my experience in the situation, and I think for them it's a good help.
Now, obviously, there's an Austrian influence in the dressing room with some of the players and with Gerhard. But which of the players have you built a relationship with really quickly?
Yeah, of course. We are speaking some German words in the dressing room also. For us, it's more comfortable, but yeah, we have great chats also with the English guys. And I have a really good relationship with Alex, with Mo, with the captain. I think it's always important to have a good relationship with the captain, and also with Corley. I can say any other, but I think especially with these two guys, chaps, the really good relationship now.
And we've had a run of defeats. Then we had 3 great wins in a row, and then just before lockdown, we had 2 tough defeats. How hard is it to maintain confidence with the position we're in when we're moving around near the bottom of the table and we desperately need the points?
Yeah, after our 3 important victories in a row, I told the team also there will be some times and games of coming when we don't win. But in this, especially in these moments, you can't say that everything is completely wrong what you have doing, because there will be games like this, especially for a young team in this situation. You can't say, okay, from now on we will win every game. This, if it works, it's really good. But there will be moments when you lose, or when you only take a point, or there will be a mistake. And this time we did some individual mistakes. I think we have to put them away as fast as possible. We spoke about it, of course, but also in these defeats, not everything was completely wrong. What we are doing, we did a good job, maybe over 80 minutes or 85 minutes, but in that minute we were not focused. So yeah, we have to spoke about these times. And that was now after the long break, also before the last game on Saturday, we spoke about it. There will be hard times also now, in games, after games, but we have to stick together side by side with all of supporters. We have to go through now 8 finals left. We want to win every game, of course. But this can also be possible that we not win every game, but we have to stick together and to fight till the end.
Absolutely. Now I mentioned the 2 games before lockdown. This lockdown and disruption is something we've never experienced before, so hopefully we'll never experience it again. But it is the whole reason we started these interviews. When the lockdown came, did you head back to Austria as soon as it was obvious that there was going to be no football?
Yeah, when we heard that there's no football, the club and the gaffer told us we can go home. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. We took the next flight home with my family. I think in these situations it's good when everybody is at home, like normal. We spent the time at home, just being at home. But I also enjoyed this time with my son. It's a great thing. I think this time we will never have before. It wasn't a good time, but for me, I enjoyed it. I did the best. So it was a hard time without football, of course, uncertain time. Nobody knows what will happen. But we spent the time in Austria.
And how did you balance spending time with your son, seeing friends and family if you could, and then balancing the fitness regime that the team will have been asking you to keep?
Yeah, especially in this time, I try to have a day plan. Of course, one of the biggest part is to play with my young boy. This was on the top always, but there was also some points like training and stay in touch with the team here via WhatsApp, via Zoom. This was really important that we just keep together in this situation, these uncertain times where a lot of questions. But the gaffer, the staff did a great job. We had a few Zoom meetings together. We have a chat. We had a strict plan from our fitness coach. So I think the team is in a good shape. They did a great job at home. it's not that easy because normally you train together. Now it was a long time training completely alone. But the team and also me, we handled it really well. So we go through these times good. So it was okay.
Well, you're back in England now. We're 1-1 in the Championship restart. We've banished a 70-year hoodoo by winning at QPR, and we have a familiar rival coming to Oakwell on Saturday. Looking ahead at the Millwall game, do you know much about them as a team?
Not so much. I knew only, I think, the style of playing, and also that we beat them in Millwall in London, I think, with a header from Pippo.
Yeah.
And he's also excited because he told us on Saturday, this Saturday, it's time for a goal. So I have a good feeling. I think it's a massive opponent, of course, but we play at home at Oakwell, and we have to go to play our game. It will be a tough game, a hard physical game, but we prepare the whole week. So I think we will be ready for them, and it will be a tough fight.
And how has the return to training been this week? Is it all smiles because we won? Aches and pains? Anybody struggling?
Yeah, we have some small axes, but I think everybody will be fit for Saturday. This is good. Of course, I see a lot of smiling faces this day. This is important, especially in this time. That the mood of the team is really good, and after victory, it's easier to train, of course. But the team is in a good focus. Today we have 2 sessions, highly intensive, and this is good to see that the boys know the situation, and we keep on our work.
We talked about the empty stadium effect right at the start of this, and I think a lot of Barnsley supporters are going to miss being at Oakwell to support the team through these next few games. Testament to that being that we've already sold over 3,500 season tickets that I read today for next season. How do you think the empty stadium will feel when it's your stadium and it's your fans that are not there?
It will be crazy, but because normally when I go out to warm up or for a whistle for the kickoff, the stadium is full with crazy Barnsley supporters. This will be completely strange. It's not what we like, but we will do the best. I think also the clubs, our club, gives the opportunity to bring the flags. So I hope there will be a lot of flags in the stadium for Saturday. A lot of support from home. This is really important also for us, especially for the young team, that they know a lot of supporters stay side by side or behind the team. So also good that the team did this great victory, so everybody is, I think, a little bit easier to believe, and this should be a massive boost also during the week. I know a lot of or some players go through some social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They recognize also the good feeling from the supporters. This is really helpful in this moment, and hopefully it will be one of the last games in the empty Oakwell, but I think we will do another victory.
And quite rightly, you said there, it's still a big challenge ahead for these last 8 games. But as supporters, we're right behind you. How do you think the squad are going to act when we have to play Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday? That's going to be tough, especially without a full pre-season.
This will be tough for sure. I think if you have 1 week, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, this wouldn't be a big problem because we're all professionals. Everybody should. Normally, it's possible to play 3 games in a row, but after them, then it's a little bit tough, I think. there's always important that you have a good recovery. Everybody should be as professional as possible for the next few weeks. But I think also the best medicine for them is points, victories, and then everything is easier. So our biggest goal is to give every match day the best we can to get their points. And this would if we have a victory or 3 points or 1 point, this always helps for recovery, I think.
Now the only goal is making sure we play championship football next season. However, if the unthinkable happens and we do get relegated, will Michael Sollbauer still be at Oakwell next season, do we think?
Yeah, my biggest goal now is to play championship with Barnsley next season, of course, and this is everything what I'm thinking about. I have no other mind for what will happen if we go down. I don't want to think on these things because I just want to focus on the positive things, and my positive goal and my biggest goal is to achieve this battle, to stay in the championship with a full Oakwell next season, and to play a bigger part in the championship. I'm full of trust in the whole team. If we survive this big fight, we will play a big part for next season.
And the last two questions now to finish on a positive note and just have a look at your current teammates. It seems like at Barnsley we've got this ability to sign very happy players like yourself with infectious personalities and the right attitude of playing football. Which player smiles non-stop through every training session, and which one can be the most moody?
We have some funny guys in the team. Also, we Austrian, I think we have some crazy guys there. But just to pick up two guys, maybe Elliot. He's always smiling. He's a young guy. It's crazy to see him. Funny things in the head. It's good sometimes at the training. He brings us to smile. So, and on the other side, especially when we have training in the morning, Apo, Alme, I think the Finnish guys, they will need some extra time in the morning. I think he's not the funniest guy in the morning. He was always good for a joke, but not the man, especially in the morning, who arrived with this smiley face. He needs some extra kick to go into training. But yeah, I think he can be a little bit more sunshiny.
Perfect. And finally, this is a tough one. Of all of our younger players, which one has the greatest chance of going on to play in an away game at Rome or at the Olympic Stadium, just like you did?
This is a tough question. I really have to say we have really talented boys. I've never seen so many in Austria in one team. But I think, yeah, what can I say now? I think Elliot and Romala, I have to mention both of them. I see a high potential in the play, in the skills. They bring everything on the pitch. Highly talented. They just have to focus on their work. They have to work because football is not only play. It's a big part is to work hard. And yeah, I think they will be the next big players here in Barnsley. I think, I'm sure. When they will work with them, I will try to help them. Of course, everybody will try to help them, and yeah, I think both of them will help us in next games.
Excellent. Well, look, Michael, thank you for that. Thank you for the last 50 minutes, 41 questions.
Thank you.
Amazing for us to hear from a first team player during this mini season. So I really appreciate you giving us your time, and really good to get to know more about your time in Austria and how Wolfsberger were as a club and everything like that.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your support. It's great. It's very important for the team. Yeah, and we will go through this situation, of course.
Well, we've all got our fingers crossed. We'll be seeing you in a Barnsley shirt for many seasons to come yet. So all the best for Saturday and the rest of the season. We've got this. We've got this, I think. We'll do
Thank
it.
you.
Final words to everyone. Just to remind you that we've got the much loved Jacob Brown with us at 7 o'clock on Thursday as we do the whole academy to first team journey on live from Redfearn's Bar. We'll talk last minute winners at Walsall, goals at Fulham, and fighting with Alex Mowat for the King of Assists title. I'm sure there'll be more questions as well. Michael, thank you once more and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone, and see you back here in a couple of days.